Shisha Dvarim Nestaber Adam Rishon. What are the 6 things that Adam Rishon was commanded? Avodah Zarah, Bichas Hashem, not to curse Hashem, to saying Hashem's name and curse it. Shvichas Damim, Gil Arayas, Gezel, Dinim. Dinim means to have but a dinim, to rule in civil disputes. And then he says, Apabisha Kula Hen Kabbalah B'Yadenu Mimoshe Rabbeinu V'Adas Noitelahem. It's just things that are common sense and understandable. Or Mikal Divrei Torah Yira Sha'al Elu Mitzavet. From the, based on Psukim, the Gemara, it doesn't say, refers all these things, but the Gemara takes a pasuk, and they divide that pasuk to each one to mean one of these things. That Noach wasn't, till Noach they weren't allowed to eat meat. But once they were permitted to eat meat, so they could eat the meat if you kill the animal, but to take Avim and Achai, to rip off a limb and eat it, that not. You shouldn't, as long as the basa has its soul in it, don't eat. Nimsa Sheva mitzvahs. So these are 7 mitzvahs. Then he goes on to say, V'chein hoya hadavar b'chol ha'olam ad Avram. You know, from beginning of Adam Rishon and all the years of Noach and all their started Dairis and everything, this is what they followed. Ba Avram, then came Avram, V'nistava ala Mila, and Avram got the command of Mila. Then he says, V'hu is Palu Shachos, and Avram also made Shachos. V'yitzchok, Hipvish Maisa, Yitzchok separated Maisa, because the Pasuk says, Yitzchok whereas he, and they came out a measurement much more than was expected, and they said that this, why are you telling me about this big measurement? It all has to do with Maisa. He gave Maisa. V'haisev tefillah acheres, lift neis hayem. He also added another tefillah as the day begins to set, which means mincha. V'yetzer yitzchak v'suach basada. Then he says, v'haisev gid anosha, yispal avos. This is the Rambam. Sounds very simple. In other words, it all started with Adam. Then it went over to Noach, and then Avram made a contribution, so to say, and Yitzchak made a contribution, and Yaakov made a contribution. What was the contribution of Avram? He says over here, it was Mila. What was the contribution of Yitzchak? Was Meiser. Okay. Comes along the Ravid. They don't have it. The Ravid says as follows. He disagrees with the Rambam. And he says that the way the Rambam makes it, that Avram did Mila, and Yitzchak did Maisa, and Avram did Mila and a Tefillah, so he says that you have to make a change over here. He says, Omar Avram, Kain ha'yirah leima. This is what he should have said about Avram. V'hu hispalo shachas, v'hifresh Maisa, and he gave Maisa. And v'yitzchak haisef tefillah acheres. He says over here, the Rebbe says, no, the order what the Rambam is saying is not correct. The Rambam should have said that Avram made a tefillah and gave Maisa, and Yitzchak made a tefillah. Where did he get the idea? Where did the Rebbe get the idea that Avram gave Maisa? Because the story when we finished with the war against to save light, and he met with he met Malki Tzedek Melech Sholem. Some say Malki Tzedek Melech Sholem was in Hashem, the son of Noach. And then it says, Haitzi lechem v'yayin. He treated him with bread and with food. And then it says, Baruch Avram, and so, Baruch Kel Elyon, and he praised Avram, he praised Hashem, and then it says, Vayiten loy ma'aseh mikol. So who gave ma'aseh mikol? Avram gave to Melchizedek ma'aseh. So you see that Avram gave ma'aseh. So why does the Rambam say that Avram only made Milah and only Tefillah, one Tefillah, and Yitzchak is the one who gets credit for Maisa? L'chayda, the Parsha Pasuk that Avram gave Maisa. So everybody talks about this kasha, this machlokes between the Rambam. So we're not going to go through all the answers that there are. I'll just mention one or two of them. The Kesef Mishnah says as follows: "V'efshar leima l'das Rabbeinu." We could say, to explain for Rabbeinu means the Rambam. We could explain it that Avram loy ashichan she'isa mimamoinai. Avram didn't give his own.
From the Biza.
B'dafke gave from the business, or from the business. V'hosam dafke Isha Hasholo Haba b'yadai. He gave what the Biza, the rob that he got from the war. V'lay b'taytis ma'isa, and it wasn't even his ma'isa. Elafisha kibdem Melchizedek b'tzos lechem v'yayin ubrechai, because Melchizedek treated him, so he reciprocated. And v'rotza losses lay ma'isa mishral aval Yitzchak who arisha she'isa mimamayne l'shem ma'isa.
From his income.
Okay, from his income. Right, very good. Okay, that's one titus that the Kesef Mishnah gives. There's another titus that they give that it's true that Avram gave Ma'aser, but Ma'aser there are two dinim. There's Ma'aser from the produce of the land,
of the Karen.
and there's Ma'aser of Ma'aser Ksofim, of what you earned. Ma'aser Ksofim is not midiraisa. Ma'aser Ksofim, when we talk about Asa, the Asa B'Shvil Status Asa, that you should give Ma'aser, you should give a Chaimish, all that is not midiraisa. That's only midrabanan, or maybe only a minig. Ma'aser in the Torah means that you should take from your harvest, that you harvest, and give for Pri Adama. You should give Ma'aser. B'meila, when the Rambam talking about the Ma'aser Deraisa. So by Avram, Taka gave Ma'aser, but he gave Ma'aser from Kesef. It was Ma'aser Ksofim. It was Ma'aser from his business, from his income. And Yisro gave Ma'aser, was Ma'aser from the land. So therefore the Rambam doesn't give credit for Ma'aser to Avram, but he gives credit to Yitzchak.
Wow. Who says that?
Some Seifer says that. In your day, in Shiloh's Yeshuvas. So the question sounds very good, but there's a little bit of a problem. When Avram came back from the war, and we met with Mel's Daim, and Mel's Daim offered him to give him something. So he said, "No, if I wouldn't take anything from you. Not a string, not a shoelace, I wouldn't take anything from you." Over here, that he did take to give Ma'aser. So that's a little bit of a difficulty with the teretz of the Chassam Sofer and the Kesef Mishnah. Who asked this kasha? It's not me that asked the kasha, but there's a Mefarish on Chumash called the Cheskeni. And the Cheskeni asked this kasha, and therefore he says that the Pshat and Pasuk is different. Vayitrei Ma'aser Mikol, that
from the other one.
Melchizedek gave Avram Ma'aser. So Mele, there's no proof over here that Avram gave Ma'aser. Melchizedek, we're not going to say we're going from Melchizedek. We want to tell you about the Seder, Adam, Noach, Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Now, the question is that why did he give Meiser? Why Taka did Melchizedek give Meiser?
We're learning from
Shaitan
Noach.
Pasuk, because for who Kohen who killed Elyon, because he was a Kohen, right?
Shame was a coin.
Yeah. No, but if we say that he gave it to him, so who Kohen killed Elyon means that Avram was a Kohen. How did Avram become a Kohen? So there's a pasuk in Tehillim. But the pasuk in Tehillim says in Kapitel Kuf Yud says, and this Kapitel Tehillim is about Avram. It says over here in the introduction over here, it says it's about Avram. So state over here, Nishba Hashem v'lo yinochem. The Eibusha swore and will not change his mind. Ata Kohen l'olam, you will be a Kohen to Avram. Al devrasi Melchizedek, because the words of Melchizedek. What does that mean? So the Gemara explains in the Dorim. The Gemara explains that Melchizedek made a mistake. When he met Avram, the first thing he should have thanked Hashem or praise Hashem, and then later praise Avram. And what did he do? First he praised Avram, and then he praised Hashem. So because of that, he was a Kohen, and the Kahuna was taken away from him. And the Kahuna was given to Avram. But Melis Rebald over there was a change of who's the Kohen. So therefore, now that I lost the Kahuna, so he gave him Meiser, like to a gift will cover this becoming a Kohen.
So Al Divrasi, because of the words.
Al Divrasi, yeah, that's the Gemara in the Dorim. Sounds good. So if you say that teretz,
So the Rambam is good.
so Rambam is okay. Right? But there's a problem with that also. It's true, Taka, that Avram became a Kohen. That's Taka true. But the question is, the Pasuk says, the Gemara says on the Pasuk, who Kohen kel Elyon, the Gemara says, who avalei bonov. In other words, the kahuna that was taken away from Shem was not a kahuna that took away from him, but he remained a Kohen, but normally his children would have succeeded him. So the Gemara says, but who him and not his children? If that's the case, so there was no reason he lost kahuna, but he still maintained the kahuna. If he maintained the kahuna, so why did he have to give to Avram? So that's a difficulty with the teretz from the Cheskeni.
A coin is part of a Meiser?
But he could keep it himself. So I said, there's a sefer called Yalkut Ruveni. Yalkut Ruveni is a small sefer, which is an anicle from the Kli Yakar. The Kli Yakar Chumash, the Kli Yakar made Chumash made Kli Yakar, and he made a sefer called Oil Rois Ephraim. This is also from the Kli Yakar, and his anicle was malakit, a lot of medrashim, and he put it into the sefer called Yalkut Ruveni. There's a sefer that's very popular, Yalkut Shemaini. Yalkut Shemaini was much before the Yalkut Ruveni, but Yalkut Ruveni is also about more than 300 years old from the first Yalkut Ruveni was. The Yalkut Ruveni brings a Medrash Hanelim. There's a certain Medrashim that we don't have them today, but it's like another Medrash that they had in the times of the Zoya, Medrash Hanelim. The Medrash Hanelim brings up there a question, Shteitin Pasuk by Yitrei Mais Mikol, who gave to who? The Pasuk doesn't say who gave to who. Did Avram give to Melchizedek, or did Melchizedek give to Avram? They front the Medrash, Emphit the Medrash, not Avram gave to Melchizedek, and not Melchizedek gave to Avram, but the Eibishter gave Meiser to Avram for saving Lloyd and for going on Mesiras Nefesh. I have a whole explanation that what what was so special in saving Lot? Why Taka? This I'm adding. This doesn't say that safer. What was so special about Avram saving Lot? Why did Avram? Lot wasn't a great tzaddik. So why? The Torah says because Ishtei Anoshim Acham Anachnu Zok Rashi that because upon him, their countenance, their face looked the same. He had a beard just like Avram. He had payas just like Avram. He wore a black hat just like Avram. So Avram was afraid that they may use him to fight Avram. In other words, they'll get him to make a statement that it's all false. So the people think that Avram changed his mind. And Avram went to battle single-handedly almost to save Lot, in order to save Bechor. So for that, the Eibush rewarded him. What did the Eibush give him, Maisa? He gave him the hay, mitakas kisa covered. As they state in that sefer. I added in my Vidibatabom, I added, so how does, why the ois hay? So I said because the others state that they were kol mikol kol. In other words, Avram said, Hashem Beis Avram Bakol. Yitzchak said, I forgot the God, Yankee said Yeshli Kol, V'oichel Mikol. So Mikol, Kol, Mikol, Kol, that represents the others. So Hashem Beis Avram Bakol, right? 50. How much does Kol add up to? Kol is up to 50, right? What's Meiser of 50? 5. Hey, so the Eibush gave Meiser, says that therefore the Gakut Ruvaini says that Hashem Beis Avram Bakol does not mean Avram giving Meiser, does not mean Malkitzedek giving Meiser. It means the Eibush benched Avram with the Ois Hay, and because of this, he was able to go over from Avram to Avram and have future generations. There's no pasuk in the Torah that says that Avram gave Meiser. That's why we're the only pasuk in the Torah of Meiser is by Yitzchak. It's just a matter. The Rambam therefore didn't mention it by Avram. He mentioned only by Yitzchak, because regardless what the Ravid wants to correct over here, it's not necessary, because according to this shot, the pasuk is not talking about Avram or Malkitzedek giving Meiser.
So obviously the Kesef Mishnah didn't have the Medrash.
The Shiach comes from Lot.
Huh?
The Shiach comes from Lot.
That's true.
It's good. It's good.